Okay, so there's dog number one. And over here is dog number two. So that's the first one that showed up. And it's not near as, I don't know, domesticated. Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. As the white one. This one doesn't want you to touch her at all. It's just not interested at all in touching. I'm sure you can see the sores on her ears. We got to get her cleaned up somehow, but she's looking a lot better. So I don't know, we fed her for a few weeks before the other one showed up, and then this one showed up, and she's already looking a lot better, and it's only been maybe 2 weeks. Now, the very first time we saw these dogs was before we fed them or anything. We saw this one first, and then the other one. But this one went into hiding. Didn't see it at all. It never came on the property. But the brown one started showing back up by itself. Now the brown one would leave at night and then come back a couple days later. I guess this one was fenced in maybe, and now it's been let out. What happened, what we are understanding is the person who owned this dog has died, and there's a big conflict as to who's going to take care of them and when, and you know, it's just a mess. So apparently somebody was taking care of them, but they also live in Oregon, so they drive back and forth, and maybe he forgot and left this one inside a gated area. Anyway, it got out a couple weeks ago. It was still in better shape than when this one arrived. When this one arrived, she was about dead. It was terrible. But they're both healthier now, and they are starting to spend the night. So let's see. Yesterday, I got up at 4:30, and they were both here, both of them. And yeah, somebody burned some trash over here yesterday, and a bunch of cans had popped, making noise. That white one is scared of the noise, fireworks, noises. So she runs underneath the camper. But you can pet her. I bet I can do it now. She doesn't seem to get too upset. Hey, hey. See, she lets you pet her. We got to get them cleaned up. So she's pretty much made this spot her home. Yeah. So where was I? Oh, so this morning when I woke up, the brown dog wasn't here. I don't know where it went to, but the white one was here. You know, like I said, she was stuck underneath the camper, not stuck, but underneath the camper last night. But when I got up this morning, she was here sitting on the porch. I fed her, and after daylight, I don't know, 7 o'clock or so, Carolyn saw the brown one. She fed the brown one. So, but this morning, the cat has been in and out of being sick. I don't know what's wrong with her. There was during the summer, she was definitely sick from the heat. But I don't know, she started vomiting this week. And we think it was the food, that the food isn't agreeing with her. We bought her some canned food. We bought her canned food so she would start eating again, because she wasn't eating when it was so hot. But the canned food she would eat. Well, we went to Walmart the other day and picked up some canned food, just the cheap stuff, and apparently it's not agreeing with her. So we got her some better stuff, and she has stopped vomiting. So she, like I said, she's been in and out of being sick. So today she came outside. That dog's getting ready to jump in the back of the truck. Oh no, she changed her mind. She was thinking about jumping in the back of the truck. I wish I could have gotten that on camera. Now there goes the brown dog. There she is. I don't know, can you see her? There she is. I don't know what got into her. Both of their tails are wagging now. When we met them, they were tucked under, acted like they were completely abused, but they're wagging now. They're a lot more happy. The brown one responds better to Carolyn than me. She doesn't avoid me, but she responds better. And there's this guy who walks up and down the street, and they were barking at him, and he was throwing rocks at him. So we've got them from chasing that guy around. They'll bark and stop at the truck, and then I go out and gather them back up. So that's good that they're not doing that. So, as you know, I've been telling everybody that I'm really worried about the cat. This is the cat's property, and like I have said in several videos now, there are people in my comment section who absolutely 100% believe I need to take these dogs on and not worry about the cat. The cat will get used to the dogs. Well, in the last video, I told you that the cat went underneath the house. And I know what it was. She could smell them. She went underneath the house as soon as she saw them. The brown one chased her is what it was. And she almost went up in a tree and decided against it. Instead, ran down underneath the house. And she smelled that dog all day long. We had to get her out of there. So that was not easy to do. Especially with all the mosquitoes at that time of the night. Now, the white dog is much more tame. Like I said, you can pet her most of the time. And she's not quite as jumpy. So this morning she was sitting in front of the bridge, the white dog, and the cat wanted outside. And I said, well, you're not going to like it. And so she came outside. It was dark. I had my headlamp on. And she didn't notice the cat at first. So the cat walked around the porch and then got about where I'm at now and stopped and saw the dog. So she backed out, came back around, and went in the house. Well, I followed her in, and as soon as I got in the house, she wanted back out. So she went back outside, and straight off the porch, keeping an eye on the dog, so she watched if the dog was, and she ran this way. Well, usually she only stays out for a little bit. At that time in the morning, she's more worried about getting fed a bunch and getting petted at that time in the morning than she is being outside. But she stayed out all morning. And I knew she was not happy. So, of course, I'm Googling, and Google says, yeah, if another animal shows up astray, it is likely that your cat has ran off. Which cats will do if they feel threatened, or they feel like their territory has been threatened, or they feel like they're going to have to compete for food. They'll run off, find new territory. So I was pretty sure that's what happened. And it looks like that's what she was trying to do. Fortunately, she got lost. So, I don't know, it was probably 7 o'clock. I decided to go walk the property, and I walked every square inch of it. I came down here into the woods and walked around. And when I came out of the woods, I saw a white spot right over here. And I knew there was nothing white back there. I cut this all down a few years ago, all of it. Everything was cleared out. Of course, there's so much glass and barbed wire and buckets, old paint buckets and just garbage, junkyard stuff. It's impossible to do anything with. I would have to get a bulldozer, is my guess, or a bobcat, and clear this out, buy a dumpster and clear it out. But anyway, so when I had cleared it out, I left a couple cedar trees down. I cut some cedar trees, and one of them's still back there. And she was on that cedar tree. And I'm calling her, and she looked up at me. But here's the thing, is I feel like the cat may not be able to see as well as she should be able to. Of course, they are somewhat colorblind. They only see blue-green. So maybe I just matched the greenery here. I got the black shirt on. Maybe she didn't really see who I was. But on the other hand, there are times you will put meat in front of her face and she can't find it. So I have always wondered if she has a deficit in sight and being able to see. So I was talking to her and I climbed back in the woods. Of course, I got infested with ticks. Climbed back into the woods, or back over there, and she was on guard. She knew that I was trouble, but wasn't sure. So when she finally got close enough, I'm talking to her calmly. Hi, Skitty, hi, Skitty. And I got to her and she was like, oh, it's you, great. And I pet her on the head. And now normally when she's outside, she doesn't want touched. She'll actually leave you. She'll run away. This time she let me pet her on the head. I picked her up, and which is, you don't pick that cat up. She doesn't want to be picked up at all, ever. So I picked her up, and I figured, oh boy, this is going to be a long fight, trying to get out of the woods with her in my arms and carrying her all the way up to the house. Nope, cuddled right up to me. And as I got to the porch, I tucked her head into my chest so she couldn't see the dogs. She didn't have any problems with that. But she was scared. You could tell she was scared. She was lost. So, you know, I kept saying in these videos that I got a responsibility to Skitty. This is her territory. And so many people argued with me that she'll get used to the dogs. That's fine if she'll stay around long enough to get used to them. But she's not going to. She doesn't want them around here. So Carolyn and I have decided that she is going to be strictly an indoor cat until we figure out what to do with these dogs. You know, whether we get them a kennel, adopt them out, whatever the thing is that we're going to do. But I don't want her running off. I don't want her suffering. I don't want these dogs suffering either, which is my dilemma. If she runs off, that means she's got to find a new food source, and it's going to take her time to find it. In the meantime, she's going to be starving, like she was when she got here. And I just can't stand to see starving animals. I know this is going to sound horrific. I would rather a dog or a cat die a peaceful death than to see it starve. I just can't stand it. It drives me absolutely insane to see a starving animal or suffering animal. You know, a deer on the road, hit by a car, and it's still alive. I would rather go over and shoot it in the head than watch it suffer. Just, to me, they don't understand what's happening to them. You know, the old man died, these dogs, and they're like, hey, where'd he go? He took care of us for all these years, and now he's not. They don't get it. So they kept going back and waiting and waiting and waiting, and he never showed up. They don't understand that. Why? Why didn't he show up? At least that's my thinking. So they suffered. They put themselves through misery waiting for that old man to return. So I don't know. I don't agree with letting them suffer at all. So I don't want that cat to get loose and suffer. I just don't. I'd rather put her to sleep than do that. So we'll keep her inside. I don't like that either, because she does enjoy being outside for short periods of time. She really does. But we're going to have to put an end to that. And I did Google. If she does have bad eyesight, it's really not a good idea to have her out. She doesn't hunt anymore when she comes out. When we first got her, she got all the mice and all the snakes and took, kept everything away from us. She doesn't do that anymore. As a matter of fact, I'm more worried about a bald eagle coming down and picking her up than her being, than her actually doing any hunting. And the thing is that she used to stay under trees when she was outside, but now she stays out in the open. So, that's just asking for trouble from a bald eagle. And if she can't see it, then she's not going to be able to avoid it. So it's probably a good thing. We'll just keep her in. I hate that. I really do. And like I said, all this time, it's not fair to her. This is her place. We took her in, but I just can't see these dogs suffering. I mean, we'll have to call somebody eventually if we can't figure out what to do with them. How to keep them warm in the winter is my biggest concern, because I know people will turn us in. I know people will turn us in. That's what's so sad, is these dogs were out last winter. And nobody did anything about it last winter, but now somebody's taking care of them. Because they didn't want the responsibility last year. They didn't want to do it. I don't know how anybody could look at these dogs and think, yeah, let them suffer. I mean, the white one looks like she's been shot by a pellet gun, which, you know, makes sense. But you would think that somebody would have said, hey, you know, we need to take care of them. So when they came up here, it was either, you know, we need to put them down or feed them. So we chose to feed them. So if you click this up next box, it'll take you to a video where I was on my other channel and we were working on something. So I'd really appreciate it if you go check it out. And you know, down there at the bottom is a hype button, and you can give 3 hypes a week, and you can use all 3 hypes on my channel. I'd appreciate it if you go over there and hype out those videos once a week. That'd be great. I'd appreciate it. I only make 1 a week right now. So anyway, I hope I can inspire you to don't let animals suffer, so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.